Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome to today's episode on True Talk with DJ Nero. And today I have two amazing guests here with me. And on my left, I have a beautiful guest, which I would let her do the introduction herself.
Hi there, my name is MARTA. I'm James's sister-in-law, the favourite sister-in-law.
Yes. Don't forget the favorite. And
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy, MBG Blaze, and I'm a rapper, I'm a producer, and I'm a songwriter, and I'm hanging out here with my G, DJ Nero, and I just want to say big shout out to DJ Nero for having me here to the True Talk.
Thank you, my G. Thank you very much. And today, we've got a beautiful topic to discuss with you. But just before we go into today's topic, I would like to say a big shout out to our audience out there that already subscribed, and also to the ones that haven't. Please feel free to go in and subscribe, try watch us, share, and like it, and leave comments, because those are the things we need to get better. And again, today's topic, it's quite a beautiful one, and I'm sure you guys are prepared for today. Is it possible to meet the love of your life after marriage? Or already in a relationship? Is it possible to still find or meet the love of your life? I'll start with Marta.
Well, thanks very much. Well, I would say that probably it is possible. At the end of the day, you don't really know what's ahead of you, and you might pick a person, you might think that's the one and only, but things do happen in life.
Okay, so in a case where, because now we're talking about already being married, which already symbolize you already in love with someone. So now, meeting someone that happens to now be the love of your life. I like how you project it, because at the end of the day, we don't know what's ahead of us. But I'll hear from Blaze as well. It looks like Blaze have something really big to...
Honestly, to be honest, that question is a very big one for me.
Right.
And everything I do and everything I always do in my life, I always think on the both side, positive and negative side.
Right.
At the end of the day, our daily life routine based on both negative and positive.
Okay.
So if you don't get negative, you don't know what positive is like. So when it comes to that, I think before someone could actually make up their mind to, let's talk about the marriage, for instance, before someone could make up their mind to say, I actually want to go, I actually want to marry this person, it's a huge decision.
Okay.
And it is a decision where you have to think about, before you actually say yes to that person, it's a decision that you have to think about. It's not something you do within a couple of weeks or a couple of months. And that's why we have friendship first. From friendship, we have relationship before it all end up in a marriage. And I think those time from friendship and when we talk about relationship is those times that you get to understand that I really want this. This person is actually the right person for me. So to be honest, for me I don't see the whole fact about you actually saying yes to person, knowing in your heart that this is the person I want to live the rest of my life with. That's why I say yes to this person. Right. I know things do happen. Yes. Like they say here, shit happens and stuff like that. Right. Pardon my language, but I think it takes time for you to actually make up your mind to say yes to a marriage. And whenever you're in that marriage, I don't know how it's possible for you to be with the person that is you're called the love of your life, that you actually went on the aisle with and make a promise with, and kind of like being together in marriage, and how you could kind of like find another love of your life. Right. I'm sorry, guys, but if I'm getting this whole thing wrong, you could correct me, or you could leave a comment. But this is the way I say it. Like, and marriage is a huge thing. Marriage is not something you jump into, and I think many people get it wrong nowadays. Like, people just like, oh, the whole bubble for the first date or the first time you met this person, that's the right guy I'm going to marry, which you don't really get to understand who this person is. And I think it's very, very important in our society nowadays that we need to take that time to actually understand who we're going to say yes to. And after that, yes, I don't see any point of you kind of like looking out to look for the love of your life again.
Right.
Or,
I mean, you made
that's my
good
opinion.
points.
That's my
I
opinion.
mean, to be
Yeah, that's
honest,
my opinion.
you made good points because what you're saying there, if you're before you go into marriage with someone,
Yeah.
obviously you should know what you're getting into,
Yes.
and then it's a big and huge,
It's a huge one.
decision to
It's
take.
a huge one, yeah.
But I think Marta was about to interrupt you there. Am I correct? Was there
Yeah.
something?
Okay,
go
go
for
for
it.
it, yeah.
Well, the point is that your approach would be very, very smart one.
Okay.
This is the very sensible approach. This is the way it should be in life. But a lot of people, young people,
yeah.
especially in these days, they would jump into marriage
Yes.
because he's very handsome or he's quite rich, you know,
Mhm.
or the other way around, she's dead fit, so I just want to go for it. And then people tend to grow out of it. So unfortunately, like I would say years ago, you know, the couples would stay longer the couples would stay forever,
Forever,
you
yeah.
know. But these days, with the selections out there, you know, with how things work, like social media and all,
Social media. Mhm.
it's just like a lot of temptation,
Right.
and a number of people wouldn't consider the marriage, as you say, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I mean, going back to what Martha said, again, with all you've said, that's the way, that's the structure. That's
the
how
way it should be.
that's how it should be.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of distractions these days.
Yes, yeah.
And I'll give you an example. When we say meeting the love of your life, how about in a scenario where, for example, you obviously we all have exes, and for example you haven't, in my own opinion, and you haven't moved past that ex,
Okay.
your so-called ex,
Right.
but you think you have,
Okay.
and it's still at the back of your head or the back of your mind
Right.
while you meet, the actual person you're now married to. This is just a scenario.
Okay.
And again, going back to what we've been saying all day, everything we're saying here is based on our views without any prejudice.
Yeah.
It's not to impose anything on anyone. It's
Anybody,
just
yeah.
based on our opinions,
Yeah.
and it's our personal opinions. So going back to what I was saying, there is high chance that maybe for some reason you still have that ex stuck in your mind. And then you now meet someone that you
Right.
feel, yeah, I can move on with. This is just a scenario. And then you get married, and then few months, few years down the line, we have social media this day. Going back to what Martha said, in the past there is no
There's
social
no
media.
social media,
So that's
yeah.
one of the
Things
reasons
were
why.
slightly easier.
Before you even at that point when you're meeting someone, you probably need to put it in writing,
Yeah.
and
Probably.
then you probably have to post it.
You have to post
So by the time you write it, before you post it, you
That
probably
takes serious commitment.
you know what I mean? You probably change your mind, and you probably just don't do it again. You'll be like, nah, I don't think I want to proceed with that relationship. But now you pick up your phone, you drop a message, that's it gone.
And
You
it
want to,
evolves a lot
Yeah, yeah,
faster
it
these
goes
days.
faster.
Faster, yeah.
So
Yeah.
going through that direction, going on social media these days, a lot of people meet their soulmates, their partners on social media. You can bump into your ex on social media, and that will cause distraction. And then you feel like, yeah, I can talk to this person. And then a few months down the line, you feel like that's the actual love of your life.
Yeah.
And then you're already in a relationship.
Yeah.
So considering or putting that into context, how would you manage that?
Well, with me is, and I just want to let everybody know, everything I say today is my opinion.
Yes.
This is the way I feel about things.
Mm.
Everything that goes on social media, it's like, to me, the way I see it, it's like a fantasy, to be honest. It's not real. Social media, to me, is not real. Like, people will say, okay, I'm an artist, for example, like, it's like I have like a two different personality. Whenever I'm kind of doing my music,
Yes.
I'm a totally different person. And whenever I'm with my family, with my kids, I'm a totally different person. Yeah, that's the way it is to me. Is my family, it's my family. My music life is my music life and stuff like that. But when it comes to social media, is everybody try to kind of put the perfect about themselves out there on social media.
Yeah.
And we don't see the downside of it.
Mm-hmm.
And being that going on every day, it's like it's a mental state for people viewing that. Let me say, you on Instagram every day, you're posting everything, your picture, how good you are, how good time you're having, and all that. It's a mental state for the people that are watching, because what that is actually relaying to them is like, all your life is like 100% perfect. And they were looking at themselves, they're like, how is my life not perfect and stuff like that? But they don't know. It's all for social media gesture. Like, you know?
See on social media.
That's where I see it.
Yeah,
That's where I
100%.
see
On
it.
social media, that's why we have it.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people.
That's what it
you
promotion is to
it's for
promote.
promotion. You put on your
Promote,
positive
yeah.
positive side. Some as well will come in there and say, for example, I just failed my driving lesson. That's negative.
Yeah.
You know, it's there to communicate with people, but putting that into context as regards to finding the love of your life,
Yeah.
because it's an avenue and a quick access to see someone maybe you've been with years back. If you haven't grown out of love with that person, do you not think it's possible to then maybe wants to go back? This is just an example.
Right.
But see, whenever you mention exes, that's a bit like obviously I had exes in the past as well.
Oh yeah, we all do.
It's like, I have a feeling like you just never ever completely stop loving like your first love, for example, your first boyfriend, or like my first boyfriend ever, I don't know, your girl's ever. You always have a little bit of something for that person.
Yes.
But that shouldn't stop you from moving on further. Like, if you keep mentioning your ex in your life, like even 10 or 20 years later, and you still thinking about it, that means you've made a huge mistake.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like, that was probably the love of your life, and you should have stick to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's just a scenario.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
But again, you could randomly meet someone, you know, depending on the structure you have in place. So this is just an opinion, which I really don't want to have. I really want to hear from you. So if you're saying the structure is before you go, you know, take someone to the altar to say, yeah, can we marry each other? Because there is a process, as you said, which results to meeting someone, then maybe both of you deciding if you want to engage yourself, and then maybe later on move that to marriage. But that's a process.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that would secure or give you an 100% answer to whatever you're thinking.
Yeah.
But few years or few months down the line, going by what Marta said, based on the way we meet people these days and the way people make decisions when it comes to like getting married, if you look at it from that angle, then what would you say? Because you're going to marry because I love the look of this lady. I love the look of this guy. You know, he looks fit. She looks fit. She's rich. He's rich. You know, he has a beautiful house. And just because of that, he will look after me. She will look after me. I'll go into this marriage. What does that mean? Does that not mean...
No, that's not based on... I think the whole point of people going into wedding and getting together and getting married is love.
It should be love.
It should be love. It should be love. For the whole point of this girl is sexy, this man is handsome, money, cars, my own private beneficial gain out of this whole thing, it's not going to last. Because all you're actually going for is the look of this girl, and and this guy is going for the look of this guy. And at the end of the day, by the time it's a bubble. And don't get me wrong, this bubble is going to burst in a couple of months and a couple of weeks, because at the end of the day, you're going to start saying the whole real, that person.
The real will come to pass.
Yeah, the reality will start coming. Oh, why is this person like this? Why is it? This is where they have a problem. Oh, you should have done this. I should have done this. This is where they all start from. And they're like, okay, now I think what I thought was green land on the green grass on the other side, it wasn't green at the end of the day. It was red.
100%. That's one of the reasons why people would possibly... Sorry to interrupt you there.
That's okay.
That's one of the reasons why I think people would probably look elsewhere for the love of their life. Because going by what you're saying, that's the structure. That is what, we would say, you know, people should... You probably think everyone should do. But we are all different. The way individuals are wired is different. And I'm not in that position or in that shoes to tell people that this is how, you know, if you want to go into marriage, you need to look at this. I'm not in that position to say that, because again, I'm not skilled in that part of, you know, in that area.
Yeah.
So I see that people out there would still meet people, because with what you're saying, you're probably saying maybe it's not possible if you follow the right structure. But the structure, what you feel it's the right structure, might be the wrong structure for some people.
Yeah.
Some people might say to you, listen, yeah, you love someone, but if there is no fund, if there is no enough fund in that love, it would, you know, it deteriorates. And I'll tell you, at times, if you're in love with someone, finance is key as well.
Definitely, yeah.
You end up seeing the both of you fighting most of the time if there is not enough fund.
Yeah.
But again, we're not really. I don't want us to dwell too much around
Yeah.
loving or not loving. So, in your opinion, do you think it's possible to meet the love of your life after marriage, or you don't think it's possible?
Sorry, viewers, I got stuck on this one because the way I view things is kind of, it's a little bit different to the way everybody, and that's why we're different people anyway. But it is possible, to be honest. Let's put it this way: it is very, very possible, but the possibility has to kind of determine on your first choice in the first place.
So going back to what you're saying,
yes.
Remember, we have something called divorce.
Yes, we do. Yeah, we have divorce and stuff like that.
But you don't get married to get divorced.
Yeah, you have to get married. You have to get married first.
But that process is there.
Yeah.
So, are you telling me that people that go through divorce were not in love initially?
Honestly, there were. No, I won't say that. Say in this kind of age we are at the moment, in the century that we have at the moment, and the way I see it, the whole marriage relationship and stuff like that is like everybody is doing it for conveniency. Both men
for clout.
both men and women.
Right.
It's like they're doing it for the culture, like the culture demand that to be recognized in the community, you have to be married to be looked as a well.
Just to change your status.
Yes, to change your status as a well integrity person is that you have to be married, like, you know. And people kind of make some kind of decision with that and go for marriage straight away. And before you know, now they start talking about divorce and stuff like that and this. And like Nero say, financial is very, very, when it comes to
finance is key, man.
Finance is key as well. Finance is key. Back in the days, whenever we're young, we're talking about the man is the silver spoon of the house, as they say, is the key of the house. Goes out every morning and come back at night and with providing for the family and stuff. Where I'm from, that's the way it is. And the women, the wife are like, oh my God, they kind of honor their husband because the husband is out every day. There was nothing like boldness because they're trying to make sure that everything is right because this man is coming back from work all day. He's been working all day. I need to make sure that he enjoys his night whenever he comes back. But now it's not like that anymore. It's like, you can make your money, I can make my money as well.
Sorry to interrupt again. Does that secure your partner from not finding his or her love elsewhere?
Well,
I'm sorry I'm sounding difficult.
I know it's a huge question, like, you know, and I think it has to do with the connection between the understanding and the trust as well between the marriage, like, you know. That's why I say marriage to me is a very huge thing. People nowadays take it as it's like, oh, I'm marrying this guy, I love him and stuff. They say there's no point you getting into it, and whenever you're into it, then you're not like, oh my God, I didn't know about this before. You need to know what you're going into. You need to know what's going to come out. You need to know the sacrifice you're going to make with this, because there's no point like you getting into it and like, how am I the only one going through all this? Am I the only one paying all the bills? Am I the only one struggling?
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
And have you ever had a situation where you're in a relationship? This is just an open question.
Okay, yeah.
I'm still going to ask MARTA.
All right, that's okay.
So,
I know where it's going. Keep going.
Has there been a time where you're with someone,
right,
and then for some reason you've had someone in the past,
okay,
say 10, 15 years ago, and then for some reason you bump into that person, and this was someone that you loved years back,
right?
So I mean, someone you've been with 10, 20 years ago,
okay,
not someone you're with at the moment.
Right, yeah, I know.
And then you're thinking, you obviously, as Martha said, while you're dating that person, it could be the first of your life, it could be whatever,
yeah,
and you have something for that person at that point, at those years.
Right.
But obviously, you broke up. Maybe you went your different ways. You there's a word I'm looking for. You agreed to disagree.
Okay.
So it's not like you guys had any fight. So, but you have something for that person.
Okay.
And then 20 years down the line, you've moved on. You've met someone new. You have your family. You have everything. And then for some reason, are you telling me that? I'm not saying it has to go that way.
Yeah, no.
But there are scenarios where you might bump into that person maybe just on social media.
Yeah.
Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, whatever. And then, hello, Blaze, or out of the blues. And straight away you feel like, what's going on here? Right? If I'm correct. If that person just messaged you out of the blues, maybe contacted me, maybe we went to high school or went to uni together, and then I bump into that person, like, oh, where's Blaze? And I pass your number to that person. I look, oh, the blues. You get a text message saying, oh, Blaze, how are you? You know that calm, how are you? So tell me. So now you're saying you're married.
You obviously have a history in here going on.
Yeah.
Like, there's something there.
So he's looking at me like, where is this coming from?
Before I say something, that's why he's DJ Nero. He's trying to push me right at that button. Well, anyway, it was a good point, though. It was a good point.
You obviously, we have people.
Yeah, we have. Yeah.
We've been with 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Likewise, MARTA.
Yeah.
And she will still tell me hers as well.
It's okay. I'll tell you mine anyway.
You tell the audience.
Right. Audience. He's trying. He's just pressing that button 24/7, you know. But honestly, I have my integrity, and it takes me a long time to make a decision.
Don't tell me that structure again.
Honestly, it will take me a long time to make a decision. But when I make that decision, a decision is a decision.
Okay.
When I make that decision to kind of go off my ex, it might take me, to be honest, for the viewer, it might take me a year to make a decision, and that's the kind of person I am. To move on.
So when I make,
it doesn't
years
matter.
Back.
I'm telling you, it doesn't matter if it's the first love or it's not a first love. There's something we call move on. It's a move on is for you to move on and let the other person move on as well. But there's no point you kind of trying to kind of lead someone on. I know you might have it in your mind, but you have to show your integrity. Like, yeah, this is kind of the decision that I make myself. Like for me, as an example, my ex is like it's the final step. It's like no matter what happened, even if she messaged me or whatever, it's like probably for the sake of the kids and stuff like that. Yeah, we're gonna ball. It's nothing, bro. This is me.
I'm not saying.
Yeah, this is me.
I'm not saying when you move on, you move on. I'm saying my question is you've moved on.
Yes.
Right? You're already with someone.
Well, yeah.
You have a new home. You have everything.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm talking about someone you've been with 20 years ago, maybe when you were a teenager. Right?
Yes.
And that person all of a sudden, and that used to be someone you love as well.
Yeah. That happens
that
a lot.
Not even,
it happens a lot.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in that situation, does that mean you won't feel anything?
No, for me, no. For me. So that's my for me. No.
Okay.
No.
Well, going back to MARTA, first love, because that was your point, right? You talked about you mentioned there is something that you possibly would have for your first love. That's why I said probably or possibly you had something at some point when you were dating that person. Now you've moved on, right? If that first love, out of the blues, right?
Yeah.
I'm not putting you in the spot.
That's fine. You just did, but that's fine. Continue.
I tell you, Mara, you're already on the spot. I cannot wait.
No, it's called True Talk. And True Talk, it's for a reason. It's for a purpose.
Yeah.
But this is not. It's not going to be too. I'll keep it as calm as possible.
Uh-huh.
But you now bump into your ex, right? Your first love, because that was your point. She wasn't really talking about ex. She mentioned first love. Yeah. So it shows to me. I didn't mention first love. You didn't mention first love.
So are you trying to say she still got something for her first love?
Because she's thinking we both have something about exes.
Exes, okay,
so
right.
She got something
about first love, yeah.
So that first love, obviously the love for that first love might not supersede the love you have for the person you're with at the moment. That person now possibly supersede the love you have for that person supersede. I don't know. So you need to tell us. So at this point, the first love, out of the blues, message you. Do you not think that could encourage what we're saying? Or you tell us how would you feel?
Well, you always have to remember you kind of split for a reason.
Okay.
And just stick to the reason. Even if for some reason, like your feelings towards the ex are big, that it kind of makes you think, you always have to try and remember you split for a reason.
True.
Yeah.
But also, why in your current relationship? Like, are you happy? If you are, just trying to get it out of your head because it's just messing with you.
But do you believe you could still make the love of your life even when you're in a relationship or if you're in a marriage?
not me personally, no, not at the stage where I'm at in life. I get from my relationship what I need. I'm just happy. But there are people out there who probably are not, because they either rushed into their relationships or didn't make the right decisions.
That's the point.
So for them, it is still possible. What decision they're going to make, whether they decide to go for the true love, whether they decide to stay in the relationship that they are because of many circumstances. I don't know, house, kids, everything else, but not for me though. Like, I don't think there's anything out there for me. Like, I'm not saying it's perfect.
Yeah. Well, you're happy.
But I'm very happy. Yeah.
Which is fine. You know, going by everything you've said, what I've picked from what you said, because at the end of the day, the reason why we're doing this is to, you know, communicate something to our audience out there that anyone out there can learn, can pick something from. It's not just a case where, you know, now we've been, you know, our time is almost up.
Yeah.
So, you know, we need to be able to communicate something out there to our people, our audience, because obviously they are taking their time to come listen to us. And going by what you're saying, what I picked from your conversation, or both of you, is being contented. So if you're doing, or if you're going into a relationship, that's what I think I picked. If I'm wrong, let me know. But I think that's, if I try to summarize what both of you have said, because you've said before you go into a relationship, try to understand why you're going into it, get the structure right, then that keeps you, you know, I'm not in the position to advise anybody, and we are not here to advise people about marriage.
Definitely.
It's only our opinion, which again, we don't mean any harm. It's not to go out there, it's not to hurt anybody, it's not to lead anybody to any direction. It's just how we perceive it.
Yeah.
And that's my own personal opinion. It's your personal opinion, and I believe it's your personal opinion.
Definitely, yeah.
So I take it, what I've taken back from everything you've said here today is being contented and understanding the structure to what you're doing.
Yeah.
If I'm correct. And also to yourself, you said there, once you're in a relationship, you're not going back and you're happy where you are.
Yeah.
I personally know, if you're happy where you are, you're contented, you're not growing apart in love, you know, you have your structure right, you're not going there because you feel you want this or you want that, then I think that might keep you right, I would say. So overall, good points made. Structuring your thing, that was your own take.
It's understanding it. Taking your time to understand the person, know this person is the right person for me before you actually say yes.
Okay.
Take as long time as you can take to understand this person.
Not too long though. Careful with that long time.
Yeah.
Some ladies don't want to wait for too long.
I know some people
That's another thing.
That's another thing.
So some women
Put a time frame on it. Make sure she's happy with it.
Yeah. So you're saying again, time is key,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
You need to factor in time. Overall, we've all made good points, and I believe our audience out there as well will be happy to hear what we've said so far. We've had from Blaze, we've had from MARTA, we've had from me. It looks like I'm sitting on the fence, but I'm not sitting on the fence.
Yeah.
I'm just...
You'll be like shooting some shots, pressing some buttons.
I just want to know, I just want to know because I want to learn.
That's what you do, bro.
I'm sitting there to learn because I know people out there as well want to learn from us. And you guys are fountain of knowledge. So it's better for me
because we're experienced.
We need to talk to experienced people. So again, thank you very much, guys. Thank you for listening. And going back to our guys that are already subscribed, thank you very much, guys. So much appreciate. Looking at the love and everything, I would appreciate if you can please leave us comments because that's really important to us. That is what we need to be able to get better in what we're doing. So again, thank you guys for subscribing. And for the ones that haven't, please feel free to go in, subscribe, like, share, and leave comments as well. If you've subscribed and you've watched, you can go back and rewatch. It's fine. That's why we're there. And we promise you to keep, dropping beautiful, amazing content. And again, I always say we have loads of content still in stock that we haven't unleashed. And I promise you, we'll keep getting better and better every time. So thank you guys. Thank you once again for listening. And overall, everything we've said today, going back to that as well, it's not to lead anyone on. It's only based on our own opinion. It's based on our own views without prejudice. So we need to communicate that because we don't want anyone to perceive us, negatively or differently. We're all positive. No negative vibe here. So again, thank you guys for listening. It's been nice catching up with you. And big shout out to my main man, Blaze. Thank you very much for coming.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Anytime, my G. And the beautiful MARTA, my favorite in-law. Right? Try not to miss that.
Stick to it, yes.
Stick to that, yeah. It's my favorite one, yeah. When you hear favorite, you know then we have a lot to fight, but now we've grown past that. We're not experienced. But again, thank you very much for coming. I appreciate your time. And hopefully, definitely, we would have you again on True Talk.
I can't wait. I can't wait for the next topic. What this man going to tell me? What this man going to ask me again? I can't wait for it.
It's going to be beautiful. Trust me. I got a beautiful one. It might not be relationship this time. It's something we will not enjoy. But again, guys, thank you guys. Thanks for listening. We appreciate you. God bless. See you next time.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.